Hello, welcome back again to another edition of Moments with Lulu. If you're new to this channel, please make sure you're subscribed so you get notifications every time I put up a new video. And for all my returning subscribers and those watching me for the very first time, please be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up so this video can gain traction across YouTube and YouTube can share this video with different people and different audience across the YouTube platform. Today's video is just going to be about the harsh realities of living in Canada. I'm going to be speaking more from the perspective of someone who has lived here for quite a while. It's going to be 6 years this October that I've lived in Canada and not even gone back to my own home. That's not the topic of this video. We're going to do a separate video on that, like my experiences so far for the past 6 years will be coming up shortly. This video is more geared towards the harsh realities of living here, moving from your own home country to settle in a place like Canada. And to be quite honest with you, most of the things that I'll say in this video will be more applicable or will be even applicable to other like countries, other Western societies or other African places. It's more about the process of leaving someone's home, where they call home, where they settle to go somewhere else in search for like greener pastures or a better life or a better future kind of thing. I am very, very much of the opinion that I find it like irresponsible for people to leave their home, where they've called home, leave something that works for them, leave a whole family, a whole asset behind in search of greener pastures without being aware of the intricacies of the place they are going to settle or the place they are going to live or to start life afresh. And this more has to do with, you know, a lot of factors like where are you on the spectrum, wherever you are right now. What has been working for you? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to throw away just to go somewhere where you have to, you know, maybe suffer and start all over? And, you know, it's just a lot of factors. And that's not what this video is about, but it's just some of the things to like ponder when I go over the harsh realities of living in Canada. Okay, so the first reality I would say is the weather. The weather is something that I have never and I will never ever be able to get used to. Some people be like, oh, you're gonna get used to it at some point. No, there's no getting used to the weather. It's just the weather here can be like gloomy, like extreme weather conditions. If it's too hot, it gets really, really boiling hot. If it's too cold, it gets really, really cold, like freezing cold kind of thing. Like everything is so extreme, and the extreme weather condition, they last for quite a while. It's not like a few weeks kind of thing. No, we are talking about months and years and whatnot of like experiencing the same thing over and over again. Speaking of the weather, I'm very happy it's October and it hasn't snowed just yet. Usually I'm used to seeing the first snow around like the end of September, but I haven't seen anything yet in Edmonton where I stay. I am so happy, like it makes me really so happy. I still go outside and I still feel the cold, like you still feel it's cold, but it's not yesterday snow, which is good. The second harsh reality that I'm going to be talking about here is expenses. Like expenses, the cost of living, paying for like your personal stuff like renting, bills. When I say bills like it's a lot of things. Like rent is part of the bills you have to pay. Your monthly phone bill expense, I am like, Jesus Christ, it's just a lot of money to pay in like phone bills. You also have to look at your internet, electricity, water, heat, wherever, depending on where you stay and what rent is being covered. But you could see yourself spending up to, if not $3,000 on rent, utilities, like basic necessities of like your monthly living expenses in that area of life. There's nothing we can do about the rent, the housing situations, the utilities and whatnot. These are like fixed. This is how the system has been working. Like they have a system and that's how it's forever gonna be in many, many years to come. And given like it's 2022 right now, and given like what inflation has done to a lot of us, it's even more expensive, I would say. This has always been a harsh reality, especially for like people who have no idea about the living situation, or maybe more so for international students. But I would say that expenses is a huge one. And again, the next one I'm going to talk about are taxes. Like taxes is super annoying. Like, you know, it's like the more you work, it doesn't even matter what sort of job you do. But the more you work, the more money you earn from the work you do, the more money you have to pay in taxes. In the sense that there's really no way to be really wealthy and very, very rich. Like, it's not like you cannot have sustained wealth. Like, it's hard to have sustained wealth and riches for like an average individual, I would say, because it's like every single penny you make accounts for in taxes. And if you're one of those high earners, just know that you're working more just to give your money back to the government. People who maybe work less or don't work so much, they don't get taxed that much. So what I'm trying to say is that in as much as you put in 100% of your all for your employer, for your own employer, you're gonna see yourself paying a lot of that money back to the government, which is sad, but it's just a reality. And everything you purchase, every expense that's made here always has taxes associated with such an expense. In Alberta, where I live, is 5%, depending on what you're getting. Some things may be like 6%, like, and again, depending on the services as well, it differs, but it's more standard at 5% for like purchasing taxes, I would say. The next thing I'm going to talk about, which is a really harsh reality, is immigration status. Like, fighting your way through the immigration, the wait hours, like everything is just so annoying, I would say, when it comes to like dealing with immigration. Let's not even talk about getting your work permit. Let's not even talk about getting your student visa. Like, the wait times are so annoying. Let's not even talk about the current PR pathway. Like the scores, like the entry scores are so insane. Like, you can be in the pool for God knows how long you're going to be in the pool for, which, I mean, usually a maximum of 12 months, and then you have to like readdress your profile. There's a lot of things about the immigration that is just so annoying right now because they are so backed up. Because for me, it's like, I was talking to a friend yesterday, like my hairstylist. We were just talking about like the immigration and waiting for so and so documents and how long you have to wait. And it's not necessarily the wait time that is where that's where the problem is. But the process of getting the documents is actually very, very quick. So it now makes me wonder, what then is the problem? And we were just talking about it casually, and it's more so because they don't even want to hire more people. Like, there's less staff to meet the needs of so many immigration needs, you know? Like, a lot of people want so many things from immigration, but how can there be one staff? I went to the immigration office like maybe 2 days ago, and I had to wait in line for 2 hours. But the process of me getting what I wanted took me maybe like 20 minutes, and I was out of there. But the wait is just so incredible, insane. And I would say the same for the health in Canada, like healthcare and whatever. Like, it might advertise free healthcare, 5 qualities of healthcare, universal, comprehensive, portability, whatever, you can name it all. The wait times are ridiculously high, in the sense that you can go to an emergency room and you can see yourself waiting there for 12 hours. Unless you're actively having a heart attack. When they see you slump is when, okay, this is an emergency. It's called an emergency for some reasons, but when people go to the ER to wait for 18 hours, 12 hours, it's quite insane. Like, it's really, really insane. There's been lots of horrible stories about people who have waited in emergency and people end up like passing just from, you know, they were not attended to. And it all boils down again to hiring more staff. Like, more staff is the situation. So some people might say, oh, Canada has free healthcare for all. But you should ask yourself, is it really free? Do you really get what you should be getting? But then again, I guess because it's free, there's all of these challenges and obstacles and blocks here and there. Next, savings. Saving. Again, like I said, you can work so much and you see yourself not getting a lot for what you worked in return, in the sense that it can be hard to be wealthy, to be rich. Like, if you want to be rich, I feel like if one person wants to be rich, like if one has to desperately be rich, I feel like Africa is the place for you to go and explore your riches. And the reason why it's probably hard to save is because there's a lot of things that you're gonna have to account for in payments in Western society. Like, you're literally obligated to pay for things like, you know, like taxes, income tax, Canadian pension, all of those things. Like, as long as you're working in Canada, there are certain things that you can never run away from in your within the economy, in terms of giving back to the government. You can't run away from those things. But in places like Africa, I feel like there's a lot of things that you can really do with your money and feel like, okay, good, you're making headway, you're like, things are going well, and it's easier to live a rich, wealthy life in Africa if you're like if you have a lot of money. You get what I mean? If you have a lot of money and your money is working very well for you. And again, another harsh reality is about finding jobs, especially when it comes to like being an international student or being like a new immigrant, or just having to have relocated recently from your own country of living to a place like Canada. It is quite hard. It's difficult to find a job. Some careers, some occupations, healthcare for example, may be rewarding in the sense that you don't have to suffer to get a job. I'm speaking based on personal experience. I've never had a hard time finding a nursing job, but it's not the same for the majority of the population out there, or for the majority of the career out there. Again, it could have been really easy to get a job in healthcare and nursing, because we can see example what happened during the pandemic. I was one of the babies that graduated during the pandemic, so I can speak on the sense that okay, it was very easy to get into the workforce at the time. Can we say the same thing for other populations? Sometimes you might see yourself waiting 3 months, 6 months to start a job, and that's why it's very important. Like, even if you're gonna move from somewhere to somewhere, just make sure you have enough money that you can use to take care of yourself for like 3, 4, 6 months, at least 6 months. That's my own perspective of life. If you are able to have something that can keep you going for 6 months, then there is more hope, I would say, in that perspective. But it's just my own philosophy. Always look 6 months in advance. If you're settled for 6 months in advance, whatever you're doing within those 6 months, whether it be looking for a job, trying to climb up the ladder, doing certifications and whatnot, that's totally up to you. And one important point that I wasn't going to leave behind was, you know how it is back home. Like, if you're a doctor back home or in another country, like it could be India, Pakistan, wherever you are a doctor, any other country that's not Canada, or that's not your country of like relocation, it's like you're good, you have a good name, you have a good status there. And the immigration, like, you know, they encourage you, oh, we are going to accept people with skilled work experience, people who have like a career occupation, medical doctors, midwives, engineers, accountants, baristas, bankers and whatnot. And then you come into the system and you find that it's not the same. You're suffering to get a job. Not like you're suffering, but you're going the extra mile. Like, you see yourself doing things that, you know, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, just imagine like a doctor from back home working as a healthcare aide, or working in a coffee shop. That is way below your degree, like way below your status, your career. But it's just part of the harsh realities. Like, they preach, the immigration system will preach, oh, you can come, we'll accept you for whatever qualifications you have. But getting into the system, they don't want you using your qualifications from back home or from another part of the world in their system. They want you to do certification courses, they want you to upgrade, they want you to challenge the system, they want you to do all these extra things, they want you to go extra mile to fit into their, should I say, their curriculum or their career or their work life. Like, it's the harsh reality that can never, or that cannot be erased, I would say. But it's something that we see every day. Like, I know lots of people, like I hear a lot of stories. Like, it's not some people come here, they wait for 5 years, 6 years just to get something. You know, let's say they were like medical doctors back home, but they have to come here and start afresh, which could take them up to even 8, 10 years. It's insane to say, but it's just what it is actually. The point is, whether you're thinking of migrating from your home country to Canada, that decision is solely based on you. What I'm saying is that you have to take a lot of factors into consideration. People don't just wake up. You shouldn't just wake up and do things based off of what the internet is saying, or based off of hearsay. This is what I heard. You have to ask people who have been in the system. And again, it's true that some people may not tell you the truth. Some people may not tell you how it is. Some people may be really blunt about it. Some people may be like, whatever, blah blah. But the truth is that it boils on you to figure out, okay, this is what I have back home. What am I living? What am I sacrificing? What are the pros and cons of staying here versus what are the pros and cons of relocating to this society to be here? What do I hope to gain? You know, you have to look at a lot of factors. Look at your age, your achievements in terms of like, what have I achieved over the years? Is it worth leaving behind? What do I have in terms of property, assets? What value do I have here? So it more comes down to value. What is here going to give me versus what is there going to give me? And again, regardless of the choice you make, just know that there will always be, you know, negatives. There will always be negatives. Pros and cons will always be there. But the point is, try to make an informed decision. the journey of moving, the journey of relocating, living somewhere else without support, without friends, families. Those are kind of things you have to consider. And I'm going to have a next video on what I miss most about my own home country. Many of you already know I'm from Nigeria, but a video is going to be coming up on that. Let me also know in the comment section, for people who have been here, people who are planning to relocate, what are some of the harsh realities that, you know, friends have told you about, or that you find that, you know, you can't deal with anymore, that you've had it up to your neck? Let me know in the comment section. Share your experiences with us. I look forward to reading lots of comments, because this, I know, is a very delicate topic for some people. Some people won't tell you how it is, which is fine. Not everyone is figured or wired to do it in that light. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Share, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye now.